and good morning.
Morning.
We are at Woolhampton at the moment.
We are.
And we're about to cruise. As always, 3 boats have passed us.
Yeah, we put the pram cover down, 2 boats went by, and then just as we set up to record...
We've got another one coming now.
Yeah, another one coming behind us as well, so...
We've got the dreaded Woolhampton swing bridge and lock coming up.
Yep.
And the reason why it's so bad is because the river actually joins the canal just below the lock.
The only thing to watch out for is as the water flows out of the river just below the lock, it does tend to push you. You'll see in our previous vlog when we came through there was a sacrificial boat moored opposite, which boats tend to hit as the river pushes them onto the opposite bank. Luckily there's been no real rain, so the hope is the flow of the river,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, the hope of the flow of the river is light and not too strong.
So we'll wait another half an hour or so till these boats, there's another one going by.
Yeah.
We'll wait until these boats go by, they go up the locks, and then we'll commence.
Yes, we will
probably
indeed.
Before lunchtime.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We'll see you at tea time. Okay, we're about to set off this morning from Woolhampton, heading as far as we can, possibly getting to Newbury, possibly getting to Kintbury. Knowing us, possibly neither of those, but we're going to show you how fast this section of the canal flows. It's actually what they class as a canalised river. And you'll see that there's a decent flow on this when I throw this twig. And that's it moving with the flow of the river. And off it goes. Okay, we're about to set off. Before we do, we always run through the engine checklist, and one of the things you have to do is make sure the engine is warmed up. So I'm just going to turn the engine on and let it sit and idle for a bit as it warms. There we go. Oh, look at them chilli plants. Aren't they looking wonderful? So you'll get an idea of how quickly this particular section flows, and we're going into the flow as we head towards the swing bridge and then the lock. This is the dreaded Lock of Doom. This is the one that we did last year, and we hit the bridge as we come through because the flow of the river takes you so quickly that you can't really steer. Well, certainly not in a wide beam anyway. You get a little bit more leeway in a narrow boat because obviously you've got a bit more space either side.
In our mooring site now, into the flow of the river, and I'll meet him on the lock landing at Woolhampton. And there's another narrow boat behind us. I can't believe how many boats are coming through today. I don't think we're going to get very far. So that's the narrow entrance to the swing bridge. Mark's just coming through now, and then the little narrow boat behind is going to moor this side of the swing bridge so that we can go into the lock. You can see there's a bit of wood missing the other side, some nice rusty old bolts. You've also got these inflatable bits here to help when craft are coming down the locks.
on the right you can see the sacrificial narrowboat, and on the left hand side you can see the flow of water as it enters the canal. It's not particularly strong, but because it's wide it does grab the boat, and you'll see in a second the boat start to swing over towards the other side of the lock wall. Luckily for us, there was a boat waiting to come in as we got to the top of the lock at Woolhampton, so they very kindly said that Julie could hop on and then they would obviously pull their boat in.
I'll jump on.
Okay, that's the dreaded Woolhampton Lock done. That one was a little bit hairy. The river flow wasn't particularly strong, but still strong enough to take the boat and push it all the way to the left, so that I clonked the metal corrugated side of the lock entrance, which was great because there was a boat behind us and there was people on the bridge watching. Still, you always make mistakes when people are watching, because they're not mistakes unless someone sees them. I think that's how it works. Anyway, we've done the swing bridge and we're now approaching the second lock. Of course, just after Brimpton is a town called Thatcham. Originally it was named Taysom after the Saxon chieftain that first founded the site. Tace, T-A-C-E, ham being short for Hamlet. And Thatcham is in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the longest continuous inhabited place in the UK. Not a lot of people know that. The first settlement there was founded in 8700 BC. That's not British Columbia for Canadian viewers, that's before Christ. So that's 8700 BC. So we're talking about nearly 9,000 years before Christ set foot on this earth. So what would that make it? 11,000 years ago? That's a hell of a long time. And I think my dad's been there for at least 10,000 years of it, because he lives in that town. We've approached the second lock and two narrowboats have come out, which means that it's in our favour. So when we set off this morning, 6 narrowboats came round the corner, all one after the other, which sort of hampered our start. And then as we pulled into the landing before the Woolhampton Lock, another narrowboat pulled up behind. So it's a bit like the M4 this morning, but luckily things seem to be going our favour now, because as I say, this lock is set for us to go up, so happy days. This is a pretty deep lock. Okay, so that's the second lock done. We've got another swing bridge to do. It's Swing Bridge City here. I think this is swing bridge number 4526, and after that we've got another lock, which is Brimpton / Midgham. Brimpton's an interesting town because it takes its name from an Anglo-Saxon / Celtic amalgamation of Bryn, which is Welsh for hill, and Tum, which is town, so hill town. Or it takes its name from the first owner of Brimpton, which was Brinny. It's B-R-Y-N-N-I, and of course Brinny Town, Brimtown, whichever you believe. Obviously it's up to you, but the history books state that it gets its name from those two sources. thing you do see along the canals, especially the Kennet and Avon, but all the canals of the UK, are some absolutely stunning canal side cottages. A lot of them were lock keepers' cottages or canal workers' cottages, but some dotted along are nowhere near canal locks or nowhere near bridges, and they're just stunning. There's one coming up now on our left. So this is lock number 3, this is Brimpton Lock, and just beyond here is Thatcham and then Newbury. We're probably going to pull up overnight, we're not sure yet, see if there's any moorings here, and then go back, get the car, take it forward a few miles so that we can do the hop relay thing when we get to Kintbury. As we came out of the lock at Midgham, we spotted a fantastic mooring, and it was on the offside. If you look to your right on the screen, you'll see that there's a bit of Armco. That's where we moored. It was way out of the way of any passing boats and any moving traffic, but it did mean we had a lovely straight edge, and we were able to then do some boat maintenance. And it was almost like having a private mooring.
So what have you found, Mark?
Well, ever since we've had this boat, we've had rust spots, and the first rust spot is on these double doors here, the duck doors, and it's not on that one's fine, it's on the one that's exposed to the elements, and this paintwork was bubbling along the edge here. Some of it still is there, that just needs picking off. So I thought, while we've got a decent bank, we'll rub it down, prime it, and then hopefully get a coat of paint on it.
Yeah, it's actually a lot more rust than we thought, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It goes back to about there.
So we've also got it on the porthole windows as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. People think that the boat's perfect, but it's not. There's lots of maintenance work. We've got leaky windows, we've got rust on the portholes, we've got leaking front doors. You know, to be honest with you, there's a list probably of about 9 or 10 major things that are wrong with the boat, and rust is one of them.
We'll get cracking.
Indeed.
So Mark's taken out one of the porthole windows.
Yeah.
So, how's it going?
Yeah, alright, better than I thought.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think that the window was as bad as I thought it was.
It looks awful.
Well, we'll show you that in a minute, but up close anyway. But I've taken the porthole window out, which was a learning curve because it's the first time I've ever done it. And obviously we've now got to get rid of all the old Sikaflex sealant, so that we can clean up the circle where the porthole goes. Then we're going to rub it down, wire brush it, rub it down with some sandpaper, and then I've got some rust treatment, which is Hammerite rust remover. I know everyone talks about Rustan, is it? I think it's called? Vertan, is it? Vertan. But this one was the only one that we could get, so we'll treat it with that, and then over the next couple of days we will hopefully undercoat it or prime it, and then paint it. and then dry brush it so that we get a nice neat finish. Nothing like the crappy first job that we did back in the marina 2.5–3 years ago. We'll do a proper job this time, like we've done with the duck hatch doors.
But what we think's happened is the water has leaked through behind the sealant, and that has damaged the
yeah, I think so.
window,
I mean,
isn't it?
these are the original porthole windows, as you'd expect. The boat's 2012, so that means that the Sikaflex, or the sealant that's been on here, is now 8 years old. So, and that is a long time for it to withstand the elements. Ideally, we'd get some of that window sealant tape. You can buy like a special tape that goes round your window frames, which when you screw in the windows, it seals and stops the water from getting in, and then so it's like a double layer of protection. But in this instance, we'll probably just go and get some Sikaflex or all-weather sealant, and then once we've cleaned up the window frame, run a rim around the rim of the edge of the window frame, and then push it back in, top screw, bottom screw to line it up, and then tighten the screws in as we go, and then seal the screws as we tighten them so that we don't get any water in there either. And then that should be good for another 8 to 10 years. And we can get rid of these horrible rust spots.
So I hope you enjoyed our crash, bang and wallop.
And if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, it's free to do so and it helps the channel out massively.
And don't forget to press the bell icon, and YouTube will give you notification of when we next release a video.
And also, we love your comments, so if you want to make any comments, please do so in the box below. But more importantly, we're planning on doing a Q&A, a question and answer video in an upcoming vlog, and we would love to hear what questions you have for us. We get asked stuff all the time, so if you want to ask it and we will include it in that Q&A video.
And if you would like to join us on our Patreon page, please go over and have a look. There's lots of exclusive videos on there.
There's also an exclusive cruising video which is for our patrons only.
And if you'd like to support the channel, we also have a PayPal link.
We do indeed. But don't feel that you have to do any of these things. The content is still free, as it always is, and we will still release videos every Friday, just as we always have.
And we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.